Feist is a game with little pretense. Its art and music sets the mood and builds the world around you. You are far from the top of the food chain, even hunted by large creatures that roam through the forests. No health bar, no score counter, just trying not to become somebody's lunch. Feist is a side-scrolling adventure, filled with enemies, traps, and huge baddies that seem impossible to take on. Your creature is so small compared to the other forest dwellers, making it difficult to traverse some unruly landscape. These enemies ultimately stand between you and the right side of the screen. The large baddies trying to hunt you come with great speed and force though, picking things up and hurling them at you, also destroying smaller enemies along the way. These enemies can either be faced head-on, or sometimes easier solution is to run like hell and hope they can't catch up. Encountering one of these baddies is as frightening as it is thrilling. The game has a few puzzles thrown in as well, usually in the form of figuring out how to continue. Large ledges will need objects in front of them to overcome, and sometimes you will need to jump through tree branches to reach your destination. With some determination, these puzzles are pretty easy to overcome, except when there are a ton of enemies on screen chasing after you. The art style in this game is magnificent, and yes, they do call attention to the resemblance to Limbo in some of the forums. The silhouette foreground is nothing new in video games, but it is executed very well in Feist. The 3D models and the beautifully colored backgrounds blend together well, and the blackened out objects are easy to tell apart. The music in the game is very appropriate for the timing of each level. It's mostly ambient sounds and strings that sets the moods that feel necessary for the game. This game is as fun to look at and listen to as it is to play. There is quite a bit of dodging, jumping, and fighting involved to survive in these woods. Enemies are always targeting you, and baddies are lurking around every corner. You can pull flies out of the sky to shoot their needles at enemies, which makes the levels that have flies somewhat easier to deal with these enemies. Ultimately, the name of the game is survival. You are constantly running from baddies into more danger. Dodging enemies is sometimes the only way to progress, although most of the time it's out of the frying pan and into the fire. Feist is the kind of game that indie gamers crave. The simplistic yet complicated art style and the ambient music setting a mood hard to find in other games. So take control of your own little critter and find out just how feisty you can get.